So, welcome to this sequence for the heart and the small intestine and the lungs and the large intestine. So, they run the inside and the outside of the arm. So, this will be a shoulder based sequence. So, we'll start with a general sequence to warm the shoulders up in all the different directions, and then we'll do a couple of longer holds and poses. So start by bringing your right arm out to the side and then bring it across the center of the chest, keeping the shoulder down. Cross the forearms and gently draw your arm in towards the chest. And we'll hold this for around about a minute. Okay, so keeping that same arm on top, bring your arms forwards, cross as high up the arms as is comfortable, and give yourself a hug. So that's the first option, to stay here if you want to stay here, or wrap the arms around each other. And we take eagle arms. So gently lifting the elbows up, gently drawing the shoulder blades down, and taking the hands away from your head. And again, we'll hold for about 1 minute. Okay, and then release the hands. Keep the same arm on top. Turn your hands so the thumbs go away from each other, then down towards the floor, and bring the palms of the hands together. Then keeping the front of the ribs down, lift the arms up, and then the action is to slightly press the hands together and use that to draw the shoulder blades around towards the front of the body. So again, we stay for about 1 minute. Okay, and then releasing the arms And you might want to use a belt for this next one. We'll take cow face arms. So lifting the right arm up, again keeping the shoulder soft and bending the elbow behind you, taking hold of the belt. And then the other arm, palm faces forwards, goes back, that's extension. And then internally rotate, turn the palm to face behind you, and then bend the elbow and take hold of the strap, or if it's very easy for you, take hold of your fingers. And we'll stay for 1 minute. Okay, and release. Just rest your arms down for a moment. Just tune into the sensations you feel in your shoulders. Notice if one shoulder might feel different to the other. Just feeling, observing. And then we'll do the same sequence on the other side. So take the left arm out to the side and then bring it across the front of the chest, keeping the shoulder down, then crossing the forearms and gently draw that arm in towards you. We stay for 1 minute. Okay, bringing the arms in front of you, keeping that same arm in front, crossing the arms as high up as it's comfortable, hugging yourself. Option to stay here, and then wrapping the arms around each other, elbows up, shoulders down, and your hands away from your face. Okay, releasing the hands, bringing them out in front. Turn the palms towards each other, the thumbs towards the floor, gently pressing the palms together, lifting the arms up, keeping the front ribs down, and then drawing the shoulder blades around towards the front of the body. Okay, and then releasing, taking your belt again if you want to. So the left arm reaches up and then bending the elbow, taking hold of the strap. The other arm, palm face forwards. Take that arm back. Just turn the forearm without turning the shoulder and then bend the elbow, taking hold of the strap or taking hold of your fingers. And 1 minute. Okay, and then releasing your arms slowly and rest your hands down on your legs. Tune into the sensations you feel in your arms and your shoulders. So next we'll take a pose called bricks in our hands. And for this, you will want 2 bricks or just something that gives a little bit of weight. It's really just so that you can feel. It just gives a bit of feedback to be able to feel what's happening. So I lie on my back, get a brick in each hand, and lying so the elbows are in to the rib cage and the arms are at a 90-degree angle. So the bricks give a bit of weight. What I don't want to do is arch my rib cage because that just arches the rib cage, which isn't what we're going for here. We're going for external rotation in the shoulder. So I'll just set the timer for 2 minutes and just letting the hands ease towards the floor. They may or may not move. Either way is fine. Okay, so lifting the arms slowly up, placing the bricks down, and then resting your arms down in a neutral position. Just some time to observe the sensations or lack of sensations that you feel after that pose. And when you're ready, we'll go on to the next pose, which is also lying on your back. So feel free to stay lying on your back, but move your cushion, if you're using a cushion, move that away. So we're going to make the similar shape to the top arm in eagle, in Gomukhasana, or cow face arms. So if I'm using this arm, I reach this arm up, bend the elbow, and then I aim to touch the fingers to the opposite shoulder. So that's the position of the arms. And then I lie back with my head on my arm, and we'll do 2 minutes on each side. So if you want to, you could do something with the legs. You could take a lying butterfly, so you do 2 things at once, or you can have your legs in a neutral position, whatever that is for you. And then releasing your arm, resting both arms down for a moment. And then let's do the other arm. And maybe let's put the legs in the opposite direction now. So having the feet apart and the knees resting together. Okay, and releasing the pose, lying back for your rebound. And then making your way up to sitting. So coming now into Spider-Man. So I'll show you in a couple of different angles so hopefully you can see what's happening. So I start by lying on my front, and then I bring the right arm out to the side at right angles, so like cactus arms. And then I move slightly away from that hand. So I move towards the wall behind me, and then I roll towards the wall. So I'm opening the front of that shoulder. I'm just going to turn around the other way. So I'm doing my right arm. So the arm goes out to shoulder height. It's good to have something to rest your head on. Take the blanket. Okay, so the arm goes out at right angles. I shift the hips away from the arm. So now I'm shifting my hips away from the wall. And then I roll away from the arm and rest my head so it's comfortable. And then I can choose what to do with these legs. I might stay like this with my knees stacked, or maybe you can bring that bottom foot up and use it as like a kind of kickstand to rest the other leg on. I'm just going to time us. So we'll stay for 2 minutes. There we go. Okay, so releasing the pose, coming back to lie on your belly, and maybe resting your forehead on your hands. And then let's take the second side. So now it's your left arm that's like a cactus arm. Move the hips over to the right and then roll away from your left arm. Support your head, support your legs, and breathe. And then coming out of the pose, again resting on your belly, maybe resting your forehead on your hands, and noticing the sensations that you feel in your shoulders. So, coming up to sitting, and next we'll move into floor angels, which is a similar shape to Spider-Man, but we do it on our back. So for this, you'll want a bolster or a rolled up blanket, and you may or may not want to use bricks. Depends a little bit on how high your bolster is and how open your shoulders are. So I'm also going to take my blanket underneath my head. So I want to lie with the end of the bolster roughly at the bottom point of the shoulder blades. So just the upper back is on the bolster, head supported by the blanket. And then I make cactus arms. And then, as you would if you are making angel wings in the snow, you can move your arms around and feel different places in the bricks. So if I choose a place where I want to stay, I can support my arms on the bricks like that. But feel free to move around or choose to stay in stillness and see what works best for you. We'll take 2 minutes as angels on the floor. And if you experience any kind of twingy, sharp, electrically sensations, that's a sign that you've done enough. So if you start to experience those kind of sensations or pins and needles or anything that feels nervy, then I would stop at that point. You don't want to irritate your nervous system. So it's good that you've got to that point, that you've elicited a response, but then it's good to stop there and not push into those sensations at all. And then releasing the pose, bringing your arms up and resting them down by your side or resting them in a neutral position for a moment, noticing what you feel in the arms and the shoulders. Notice if you feel anything in the palms of your hands or your fingertips. And then making your way up to sitting. And then next we'll do heart opening. So there's a couple of different ways of doing this pose. I'm going to suggest so the next pose is called heart opening. There's a couple of different ways you can do this pose. I'm going to suggest doing it with a low bolster. So this is a bolster that I just have got a rolled up blanket in. So it's quite a small bolster. And I'm going to take the blanket under my head. I'm not sure if I'll want it. Let's see. I'm going to fold it out nicely. Okay, so then lying with the bolster roughly underneath the bottom point of the shoulder blade. So my shoulders are on the floor, my head is on the floor, and my arms, you can take the arms out to shoulder height, you can make cactus arms, you can take your arms over your head. I like cactus arms. And we'll stay for 2 minutes and make sure you might have to adjust the height of the bolster and the exact position of the bolster to get it so it works for you. And once you're comfortable, lift my head up a little bit. Once you're comfortable, gently breathing into the chest. Okay, so coming now to sitting up again. And we'll come into our final Shavasana position. So, as usual, feeling free to take whatever Shavasana position feels good for you. I'm going to take a bolster under my knees and a sandbag on my belly and a blanket under my head for support. And I'll time us for 2 minutes, but feel free to take as long as possible, really, as long as you have, as long as you feel you need. Okay, so if you have longer, feel free to take it. But if you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, removing any bolsters or sandbags, hugging your knees up towards your chest, a bit of a rock from side to side, and rolling over onto one side and making your way up to sitting. A moment of gratitude. Thank you very much.